Hey everyone, what's up, travelers? Now, y'all are gonna learn how to act when you go over to these other countries. If you have been following Black Travelers Network over the years, then you know we have had multiple trips to Dubai. One of my favorite cities to visit. It's right there in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. I love Dubai, and most of our travelers who visit, they absolutely love it. Many return and have great times and great fun in this exciting city. Now, this is a quick video reaction to this recent story of a Houston woman who has been detained while visiting Dubai. Check out this short news clip, and I'm going to come back with some brief commentary on what this woman should have done and what you should do if you find yourself in a similar situation while visiting another country.
The last 2 months are described as terrifying for a Houston woman who we're told is being detained in Dubai.
Fox 26's Domly Keith joining us live near downtown Houston with why she's being held. Domly.
Well, the crime she's charged with may surprise you, and Dubai is increasingly becoming a vacation spot for a number of Houston women. One who's there right now, according to her social media page, is trying to get back to the Bayou City, but according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system that is really based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different, so be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates. Now, after Baxter says her daughter was charged with screaming in Dubai, her passport has been taken, and the American social media influencer who works as a truck driver can't leave the UAE, according to her mom. And her mom says she's been placed under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation.
It's very frightening. The longer she's been there, the more reality has started to kick in.
In our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can do in Dubai. It's not fair and it's not right.
Now, the 29-year-old does now have an attorney there in Dubai, and her mom says she's told that she could face jail time because there is surveillance video of her screaming. Now, we have reached out to the U.S. and the UAE embassies. Will government officials step in and give her assistance? I'm still awaiting responses.
Okay, so you guys just heard that. And in case you haven't realized, the U.S. government does not want to step in to assist on anything with regards to us as U.S. citizens who have been detained in a foreign country. That is not a top priority for the United States. You should have learned that with the whole Brittany Griner case. And Brittany is a celebrity, and the U.S. still didn't want to do anything to help her get back home. It took a while. It took some time. And why is that? Why is that? Well, from the United States perspective, I mean, they very well could feel that it's not a good use of the country's resources. And that's part of it. And the other half of it is they then have to start to try to figure out what they may have to do, what they may have to give up in order to get that particular United States citizen back home. And that can really impact the United States diplomatic relations abroad, especially if the person that they're trying to get returned home to the United States somehow was actually in the wrong. Just from watching the video is really giving her mother doesn't really have money to seek proper legal counsel, because her mom had a community activist speaking alongside her as opposed to an actual attorney. Now, they did say that she has an attorney overseas, and honestly, in the situations where U.S. citizens are detained, in many cases, you will be given an attorney. Kind of like here, if if you get in trouble in the United States, everyone has the right to some form of legal representation. It's not going to necessarily be the greatest, but oftentimes you will be given a public defender, someone to advocate for you, especially if you don't have any resources. And so from watching the video, her mama don't really have money like that to get her proper legal counsel. She had the community activist, and if you listen to what the community activist said, he said, in their opinion, the Houston woman did nothing wrong, and it doesn't make sense to punish her for doing the same thing as a man. This community activist, in all fairness, is sitting up over here in America giving his opinion while this lady cannot leave the UAE because they've confiscated her passport. Our opinion, and I want you all to understand, our opinion means nothing when we travel abroad. And I get how she, probably got really upset and really frustrated, because when you visit some of these countries and you start seeing how stuff is not like it is here, and the logic and the conclusion some of these people come to, the processes may not necessarily line up with how we do things here, I can get, and I have gotten frustrated, but you got to keep it together because you are not at home. You are not going to go over to a foreign country and tell them people how they are going to run their country. It does not work like that. And the UAE is a reasonably conservative country. It's a conservative country. It's a male-dominated country. I mean, it's ran by the royal families of the country. And when you look at that, I mean, you begin to see the forefront and the leadership of the country is pretty much male. She should have known that if she really would have taken the time to learn more about the country. And not only the country, but she's visiting Dubai. Dubai is ruled by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is an Emirati, and he's also a politician and a member of the royal family. If you don't know and you haven't been paying attention and you've been living under a rock, check out what happened to Sheikh Mohammed's ex-wife and how she had to secretly flee the country. Check the fact that he has 2 daughters that have mysteriously disappeared, one of which tried to run away, and they caught up with her and brought her back to the UAE, and ain't nobody really seen much of her. I think they released some photos of her many years ago, and some people were suspecting that she may have even been drugged. I mean, this is what is known about Dubai. So I don't know what made this sister from Houston think she was gonna go over there, get into it with anybody from that country. And I have to say again, the UAE is one of my favorite countries to visit. This does not deter me at all from wanting to go. I would definitely encourage you as travelers to visit if you haven't visited. It's one of those places you must see. Beautiful country. The people are really nice, genuinely chill. It's one of the safest countries in the world. Like literally one of the safest countries in the world. So her passport was taken and her belongings were taken, but they didn't steal them. I'll tell you that. They don't even have to tell me. I mean, just knowing the culture of the country and its people, they didn't steal this woman's documents or her belongings. They have it. They just not giving it to her. And I also have to say, there are lots of Americans who go over to in particular Dubai. I mean, just offhand, you guys know the singer Tyrese. Steve Harvey goes over there quite often. Will Smith goes over there all the time. So, I mean, there's some heavy hitters who love Dubai. And so they don't really detain Americans all like that because Americans are good for business. And, for her to get detained in Dubai and her passports taken, I mean, she had to have been kind of off the chain. Kind of off the chain. And the thing is they're saying that the gentleman was aggressive with her. That I could believe. I could believe that too, because women in that society don't have the same kind of status as the men. And so if you're a woman and you're challenging any of their male authority and you're a foreigner and American and you're an American, oh, it's going to be all kinds of problems. So even with that, like I said, the United States has a really great relationship with the United Arab Emirates, and being detained is not something that happens that often in that country, especially for Americans. So yeah, this is not really looking good for her. And so for those of you who might be looking at the story saying, well, she should have known the laws. In her defense, in the sister's defense, here's what I'm going to say. That's not possible to know all of the laws of that particular country. It's not even possible to know all of the laws for our own country. Even here in the United States, there are still laws on the books that we are not aware of unless we break them. And when you are in these foreign countries, they can make up any law that they choose. What you gonna do? Really, what are you gonna do? And you thousands of miles away? Yeah, good luck with that. And so here's what she should have done. Number one, she should not have gotten so emotional that she matched the man's aggressive energy that she was met with. Instead, she should have remained calm, took as many notes about where she was located, who she was speaking with. She should have done as much as she could do to de-escalate the situation. The next thing she should have done is gone directly to the United States Embassy. This is why there are U.S. embassies all over the world in various foreign countries. Let the U.S. Embassy advise you on how to handle the issue and give you some type of course of action. If not, have them do what they can do to help you retrieve your passports and obtain your documents back. She should have never been going back and forth with somebody who had her belongings, because guess what? If he don't give it back, or if she would have lost it, she would have had to go to the embassy anyway, and they would have had to come up with the process for her to obtain a passport, because she can't get back into America without her passport. So ladies and gentlemen, do not get into arguments, brawls, whatever you want to call it, in these foreign countries. As a U.S. citizen, you have no power to make any changes. You don't have no power to make no heads roll or make any threats in these other countries. You have no power as a guest in another country. You are a guest. You can be asked to leave. You could be detained. You could be, discriminated against. What you gonna do? That's just how it goes. And you should know that when you start to think about where you'd like to visit, what countries you want to see. There are rules, regulations, laws all over this world, and they don't have to make sense. They really don't. There are countries that still have laws that allow men to abuse women, and it's perfectly okay. And so make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you will be notified on the next video that drops. I really hope this sister gets some type of help and assistance in getting her things back, but most importantly, in getting back home. As we know and we've seen with all past cases that involved U.S. citizens being detained, it is a process. And not a quick process. It could take months. It could take years. I mean, it's just not a situation you want to be in at all, because you have no control over another country's rules and regulations. Neither does the United States. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will pick up a different topic as it relates to travel. And yeah, definitely hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss the next video.